Ah, there's the button. Let's see.
Come on, guys. This is ridiculous. Let's get out of the pile here. Come on. No piling on. And you,
We
get in the
have
little
an
room.
umbrella cuddle
Give
puddle
him room to
again.
breathe. Give him room to breathe. Stop it. Laura. Okay, on the floor. Don't you get upset with me.
There we are. So hello and welcome everybody to our Wednesday live stream.
Hello? Hello? What are you doing? What are you doing? He gets upset at me whenever I toss Lorelei off the couch, but he's unfortunately she is not giving KK any room to breathe, so she's just diving in on him. So. Aren't you, Lorelei?
Look at these sweeties.
Look at her face. Like he tossed me off the couch.
Uh-huh. Oh, Dirty Birds Inc. is here. So welcome, Dirty Birds Inc. Long not seen. Happy to see you right now. Hope you are doing good.
Hey, everybody. I had something I wanted to show you, but unfortunately, Zoom has made it impossible. They couldn't possibly have put more choices on the screens for what you want to enable, and somehow I cannot get clips enabled. So I have a little clip I'd like to show you, but I can't do it. So I'll have to upload the darn thing. You guys can watch it later. Get out of there. Leave him alone. He would like to breathe. You, no. Just leave him alone for a little while. You two can talk to each other. Good grief, you two. Yes, a good grief.
Then we have
Hey,
Calvin
sugar.
Thurston here. So hello, Calvin. And we have
Hi,
Eleanor.
Calvin.
Welcome, Eleanor.
Hi, Eleanor.
Did we miss to let you in Zoom, or are you just on the way and joining us via chat, which is also okay?
Well, the update may make it more difficult to join. I don't know. I've set it up now so that you guys can join without me being here, but who knows what throwing some of those switches did. So
Well, the
one
switch
thing
to
is
me told me you are not there.
get out of there. No, Lorelei, you're gonna get him to bite me now. Stop it. He'll try to defend her. So you are not doing this. No,
Take your time,
no.
Eleanor. Everything under control at my end.
I
Headphones
wish I
as
could.
well. Just the
I wish
birds
I,
a little bit troubling.
I wish I could say everyone was under control here.
Hmm. So Dirty Birds Inc. tells us that the umbrella cockatoo ace has a yeast infection. He was now at the vet and got antifungal medicine. So let's hope for the best. Poor
Oh boy.
ace.
Yeah, that's not good. The meds for that.
Why have there been rockets?
Because I have this rocket right here who will not, she
Ah.
keeps launching herself up here and trying to squeeze in so that this guy can't breathe. Poor KK. Give him room to breathe, Laurel. I don't look at me like I'm Why do you put me on the floor? That look. Lorelai, baby girl. Hi. Hi, baby girl. Hi. You can come up here, but just don't be so emphatic about what you want to do. Yeah. It's a little bit much there, kid. Just a little bit. You are in a
Oh,
case.
and Falconso is here, and she would like to know how the Shuk bird is doing. I think a lot of people would probably like to know.
Oh, she's fine right now. Yeah. She had that one problem that day, but it was over by the evening. Have her on a slightly raised level of medicine, just a tiny bit more. Keeping a good eye on her, but she hasn't touched her shoulder since. So
Hi, Shuki, we are happy to see you happy, healthy, and alive. And Auntie
she wasn't
Jasmine is close.
she wasn't quiet when I brought her in. She was all flapping, and I want to sit on my perch in here. And then she gets up there and she settles in, and she looks like that for a while.
Yeah.
She was she was playing in her cage until she saw me open the door here, and then she immediately got on the front door of her cage and started doing her let me out routine.
Shuki, do you want out? Being out and about. And there's Rosebud. So welcome, Rosebud.
Hey, Rosebud, Rosebird. Now I started out with Snowball, who's over there. But Snowball was having a little altercation with Jasmine. He wanted to stay where he was, and she wanted him out of there. So, right, Snowball, Snowbird. Hello, Eleanor. So as I was saying, I have a neat little video which I cannot figure out where Zoom has hidden the switch to turn on, playing the video through here. So I can't do it. So I will put it up later today on YouTube, on Patreon, and on Telegram. So it is life through the viewpoint of a parrot. So all the way from egg on. It's not terribly long. It's only 5 minutes long, but I think it gets the essence of what it's like to be a parrot. So
Mm.
in this
Somebody's
world,
really,
anyway.
really sweet and funny making peekaboo back there. That was Noble, I think.
Yeah, I think he's trying to find another spot where he can make a nest.
Hmm.
Yeah, he is. He moved everything. It's harder to do that now. That's okay, Snowball. You can do it there, I think.
And welcome to Jocelyn Triggle, who's here.
Yeah, Jocelyn. Yeah, I woke up with one of those thunderbolts you get when you're getting creative. and I wrote basic script and I expanded on it and I used an AI voice to animate it, and I threw it all together and closed captioned it. Had all ready to, but it would take too long to upload it to YouTube. If you're one of these big draws that gets 100,000 people or whatever, your videos are instant. I mean, the second you put them up there, they're there. But it doesn't work that way for us. So I'll usually get once it's uploaded on a video, it's less than 20 seconds. It will tell me it will be available in 25 minutes or something. So, or you can catch the tail end of a live from someone who's got 100,000 or more viewers, and you can just restart it right there within a minute of the live being over. So I wanted to give everybody a preview. So I'll put it up for members only. The way you can get around that is going on to Telegram, because on Telegram I don't have a way to do that. So if you want to watch it right away and you're not a member, you can go on Telegram and see it. I'll have it up by probably 4 or 5. I have to go get water today too, so that means I've got a heavy schedule. You guys, hey, where does it say umbrella pile here? I don't see that sign. No. You
I
guys.
think they try to build or construct a tunnel right under you.
Or through me, I'm not sure which.
They want to build a nest and have you sit in the middle of it. A giant nest.
Yeah.
These fusion tools.
I don't know about you guys. I would read you what I wrote, but I don't think I could get through it. I would be choking up as I read it, so that's why I didn't try to read it. Why I let an AI voice do it, because I can read it eventually, but I'll have to read a couple of paragraphs and go away and do something else and come back. That kind of thing. You guys, I wonder if I piled some wood on you. I gotta look for that anyway. Snowball, why don't you tell these guys they can't pile over here? You're pretty silly, you know it. Hmm? You know that, Cecil? And Lorelei, let him breathe. Are you sitting on him again? Why don't you let him have his space?
We have a question by Dirty Birds Inc. The bird is sick and has a yeast infection and needs now medicine. And the question is, can he throw up the medication?
It's possible. I mean, it can, if the medication upsets their stomach, they'll throw it up.
They're not gonna throw it up deliberately once they have swallowed it down, though.
No. At least I've never seen a bird do that. That doesn't mean that there isn't one. Cecil might be one who will do that. Who knows? But once it's swallowed, they usually don't do that unless they actually get an upset stomach.
Maybe if Ace likes some peanut butter or something, you also have like done a little bit as snack on a stick and give it right afterwards. So the bird is likely to swallow that and with it the medicine.
Yeah, you can do that as long as that that particular medicine allows you to mix it. Some medicines don't go well with food, but that should say on the prescription. It should say, give with food or give on an empty stomach, that kind of thing. If not, Chat GPT call the vet, or Chat GPT can tell you whether a particular medicine is can mix it with food or not.
And welcome to Booktia Sharp.
Well, you can certainly tell I'm a geek because I adopt anything that works as soon as it comes out. So if I mention ChatGPT, it's because I use it for almost everything. I've got a question, that's my first place I go for an answer. So that doesn't mean I accept everything 100%, but a lot of times it just gives you the right answer. So, but if you call a vet and ask, you know, that's probably your best bet. Usually they can run somebody to the vet just to ask a quick question. And just go with food. Can you mix it with peanut butter? And I use craft sticks with the peanut butter. Yeah. So if I was trying to think of a way when I have to be away on an extended trip or something, what I could use to prepare their food and have it ready for them, you know, and eventually came up with rice paper, that kind of stuff, the wonton that you use to wrap things. Um, Japanese used to wrap different kinds of food in, and yeah, you could take the food, wrap it in wonton, put it in an airproof container with a couple of stay dries, you know, something that's silicon dioxide in there, so that they don't get sticky. And then you can put it in their cage, and when it warms up, they can just eat right through the rice paper, which is tasty anyway. You're silly. You're silly. No, I'm Cecil, not silly. You're the only one that's paying any attention to me down there, big boy. So I was going to play that video and then we could just talk about it. But basically what the video I'm going to upload does is it talks about what it's like to be raised in captivity and go from home to home. What it's like for these guys. And it's done from the first person, so it's as if the bird is talking to you about this is my life. This is this is what I've had to face.
Maybe we can talk about what each of the sanctuary birds would want to tell you, Don, if they could talk. Guess I bet they'd all have something to say.
Yeah. Well, you know, they all were taken from their parents because if they leave the egg in there, the parents will break the eggs. It took a long time for people to figure that out. They couldn't breed parrots in captivity because they break the eggs. So, and they came up with the idea of, they figured out how to set up the incubators to turn the eggs at regularly and the right temperatures and all that. That's how we got these guys being bred in captivity. But of course, that means that they don't have the warmth of their parents sitting on them. It's not their parents turning the egg, you know. And when they develop the ability to hear, they don't hear anything except whatever mechanical contrivance, like the sound of the little motor when it turns the egg, that kind of thing, or whatever human sounds are in the environment, because they take them away from the parents. Parents will destroy the eggs. So.
I was just thinking my little egg couldn't hear me coughing and sneezing.
You poor
I'm
thing.
Sure is lovely.
Just what you need. Not cold.
Yep.
So try to imagine, this is what I tried to do. Try to imagine, you finally take your little egg tooth and you crack the shell and you see this thing. It's 100 times bigger than you, actually more than 100 times bigger than you, weighs. Uh, looking down at you, and that's your first experience of life. Not seeing your mom, not seeing your dad, but seeing this predator, because we have eyes that face forward, so we're predators. Seeing this predator staring at you, and if you're lucky, the predator will smile, which is what a carnivorous animal does just before it eats you. You look at most animals and they've got that look like a smile on their face. Any carnivore, that means they're about to kill you. So that's the first thing these guys get to face. And if they're lucky, they get spoon-fed or syringe-fed. And the person takes a little time with them. If it's a big breeding operation, they go by with a tube and shove it down their throat and just push the food in, which is one of the reasons a lot of these guys have eating issues. Why they have trouble eating. And sometimes the food is too hot and it actually burns their crop. We had a bird here, Coco, who was like that, with us at the sanctuary. I had to hand feed her with a syringe, or she could only eat soft food. So instead of having your parents properly regurgitate their food in your beak, have someone shoving a tube down your throat, squishing something in, and going on to the next piece of capital, because that's really all they are. They're not animals to these people; they're just capital. Capital is something that you use to turn over dollars. Right, Cecil? And then, depending on what the laws are in the country or the state or province that you're in, they get eventually sold to a bird store in California where we used to live. In order to do that, they had to be weaned. So they would force wean birds at 4 or 5 months as early as they could, so they could sell them. Lorelei weaned at 1 year and 3 months. Was when she chose to stop eating from the syringe. She was eating other things at that time, but she was still eating from the syringe. You guys, this poodle puddle, huddle of cockatoos. What are you guys doing? It's all one starts and one ends. What is going on? Then they go to the store, where usually the store people don't know much, just enough to sell the bird, right? I've been in those stores back before I started the sanctuary, and listened to these people just basically they're either telling lies or they're just so ignorant they have no idea what they're talking about. Oh, this bird will always be that way. I heard someone say that about an umbrella baby. Well, they'll always be cuddly like that. Yeah, they're definitely cuddly. When they hit sexual maturity, they start trying to look for a bond mate, then you've got all kinds of issues. You can see it on his face when I toss Lorelei off to the couch. He looks at me like he's going to come over and bite me. He did bite me one time when I did it because he didn't like me tossing him.
Or they just turn into a raging demon like Salamander.
Oh, he was. He went after that lady who had him. He came across the cages. At the time, I used to let him out because I could do it the way I had the room set up. I let him out, and he came screaming across one cage after another like a cruise missile going right for her. And I just put my hand up in front of him and stopped him. And he was like, okay. If I hadn't put my hand up there, though, he would have he would have attacked her.
And then once he was done with puberty, he reverted back to babyhood for
Mhm.
some reason.
Pretty much. Yeah. Because last night I was going to bring him back here. He comes back here every night, but I had the camera up because he's funny when I take him in. He does his rat, 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 does all this as I take him in. And then once I get in here with him and he's up on the ropes, then he shuts up and that's that. So I tried to record him. As soon as he saw the camera, he turned his back on me. He wouldn't come out.
Oh, that's a
Hey,
shame.
hey, calm down. He's running up at my face because I tossed his mate around. I know, but she's my daughter and I'm not hurting. Does she look like she's hurt? Well, I don't know. What do you want me to do? Separate them? Do you want me to separate them? Is that what you want? What do you want me to do? No comprende.
You feel like, John, leave my girlfriend alone, and they're still making her do what I want.
Easily. So they generally go from the breeder to a pet store, or the breeders, if they get lucky, can sell them to an individual. I say get lucky because they make more money that way. In California, they can sell a bird that has not been weaned to an individual. They can't do it to a bird store. Don't step on his head. All right. I should. Little tail flash there, should. And generally, once they're in the bird store, that somebody has to pick them out. Oh, I like this bird, but the behavior is not always going to be the same. And we have a lot to do with the change in behavior. This guy he would be frozen like a statue if I hadn't worked with his behavior because he was nearly catatonic when I got him. And he probably would have stayed that way if I hadn't worked with him, but that's the point of running a sanctuary of rescue is to bring these guys closer to some sort of sanity. They can't really be sane because if you were born in an incubator and chimpanzees raised you, you wouldn't be human either. These guys are not, they don't know what they are. He doesn't even realize he can fly. He does it on occasion, but he always looks shocked, and that's only when he's scared. So he doesn't get scared often. So he sees something new. He's afraid of the toy making table. So every time I go by there, he gets his wings out and tries to fly.
What's so scary about the table?
You never know what it is, but he does not like that table. He reacts to it like it's a threat. So, okay, let's not do that. Thank you. Calm down. You guys. Snowball, you want to put some sanity in this mix it over here? No, Snowball? So then they move in with somebody who, in most cases, doesn't know much. It's like the kid in the candy store. Oh, that candy looks good first time they see it, right? And they find out they're eating Peeps and they're just, yeah. So, well, it looks like a cute little chicken. Yeah, but it tastes like, well, doesn't taste like a chicken. That's for sure. I'm not sure what those things taste like. But. So once people start to try to figure out what these guys are doing, if they realize that they're intelligent, then they might be able to work with them. It's well, you get lucky. Some people get lucky. Oh, my bird's never been a problem. Let's hope they never are. That's like the computer program when I was learning computer programming back in the dark ages when the world was new. And I brought up a program to and back then it was punch cards, okay? So I brought my program up in COBOL to the instructor who was quite a sharp guy. And he looked at it and he said, "Did it run like this right from the beginning?" And I said, yeah, it did. He goes, "Well, there aren't any errors." And I said, "Yeah, I know." And I was proud. He goes, "Put a period here and a period there and run it again." So I ran it again and there were 200 and something errors. And he goes, "Good, good. Because when you make mistakes, you learn. If you get lucky and it comes out right the first time, you didn't learn anything."
Yeah, never trust a computer program if it runs fine the first time, because that's weird. There's probably
Yeah.
something wrong.
Well, actually, I did write it. It was a fairly complex program, but I wrote it right the first time, which, is just, like I say, it's pure luck. I mean, I analyzed it and I thought I had it right, and when I ran it through, it came out right, but I didn't. He said I didn't learn anything just by getting it right. So, and that doesn't happen often. But with these guys, there are people who get a bird, and for whatever reason, they don't have a problem, or at least they don't perceive one. But the day that they get a problem, like when I had to go through all 210 errors and explain each and every one of them to my professor, yeah, in order to be able to explain the errors, I truly had to understand what was going on. Which makes me think I would love to get into the IRS database and add like 100 periods. Because in COBOL, when you do that, it just generates massive errors. It just put a period in the wrong place and you get a whole 2 periods gave me over 200 errors. So, which functionally the program can't run. It just get errors and won't run. Hey, no, you're not going to do that. You learned that from Bob or what? You don't need to lift my shirt up. No, you don't.
Don, I just talked with Dirty Birds Inc. about what one can do when the bird starts to or tries to bite one. And you once did that with Cecil or somebody that you just reached them a toy, so they had the toy in the beak, and when they have the toy in the beak, they don't bite.
Right. That's a basic technique. It's called DRI. If you have something incompatible to a behavior, then you won't get that behavior. Hey, stop that. And if they're going to bite and they have something in their beak, then they won't bite. If you go to hold a bird, come here.
I couldn't remember the term differential reinforcement.
Yeah, I know. You got to have technical terms like that. Come here. I just want to hold you for a second. Oh, you're such a pest. Come here. Come up. Don't
But I
dance.
remember the technique.
Don't dance. Look at him. You don't want me to pick you up? Okay. If you don't want me to pick you up, I would like to show how to stop a bite, though. Can I pick you up for a second? Come on. I'm not going to put you down or anything. Okay, if you have a bird, let's say he was trying to reach down and bite my thumb. Turn. He's got to go to the bathroom. That's why he's acting weird. Go ahead. Well, go on. You know, you're not making this easy. But come here. You just, come here. Trying to doing it, show somebody how to do something with Cecil isn't easy. If he was trying to bite my thumb, you rotate your hand in the direction of the thumb. You see what happens? If you rotate forward the same direction, then they'll back up. So if you're holding a bird, come here. You're all fired up. Come here.
I can tell what Cecil now thinks. The human perch is
Come here.
functioning. Need to repair it by
Just been
bashing.
Yeah, I think so.
that's a different technique. That's actually negative punishment, as they're trying to reduce or extinguish the behavior. In this case, biting, and you do it by taking away their balance. If you rotate your hand in the same direction they're moving, then they back up. It's just natural. That's what you would do, because you get thrown off, that your balance gets thrown off. So that's just using negative
Sugar looked like
reinforcement.
she's up to something.
Oh, she's chewing the new part.
Oh, how lovely.
That's what it's there for.
Shuggy, we appreciate that you have become a real bird.
Cecil, what? What?
A playful sugar bird.
So what usually happens is they end up living with people who don't understand, who give them a whole bunch of attention in the beginning. And so the bird forms a mate bond with one of them. And then within a couple of weeks, there's usually either a biting or screaming situation. Screaming because the one they're mated to is not there all the time, or biting because they're defending their mate, which in this case is a human being. This goes on for a while. People can't handle it, and then they go to somebody else. And for the first 2-3 weeks, oh, what a wonderful bird! What a wonderful bird! And then the other behaviors that they have learned to survive come out. The bird tries to mate with someone else. You end up with the same kind of behavior, and then they move on, they move on, they move on. That's what usually happens. If you don't understand about mate bonding and you don't understand about territoriality and these kind of things, that's where people say, oh, my bird bit me out of the blue. And if you believe that somebody gets bit out of the blue by a parrot, I've got some swampland to sell you in the Mojave Desert. Really beautiful swampland. Lots of ducks, and it's got a koi. It's even got koi in it. Yeah. It's never out of the blue. They learn behaviors from being around you, and it's just like we learn being around other people. If you're around somebody who's mean and nasty to you all the time, you learn to react to it one way or another. And then if you're around another person who's similar to that, you react the same way. So they develop these reactions, and all right, you're standing on his head. He would kind of like to have his head out. Umbrellas. All right, no, we're not doing that. Get off of him. Cut that out. That's you. You're the source of the problem. Over here. In that case, it wasn't Cecil's problem with Cecil's behavior. It was because Lorelei was spending too much time with KK, and it was starting to upset him. So he was trying to break her out of there, and she's a stubborn little minx. So behavior fixed. No more jumping on KK. So I do get a kick out of it, though, when people will say to me that, I've never had a problem with my bird. And I feel just like that professor who told me, put these two periods in here, a period here and a period there, and run that program again. So, which was fun because in those days, it's not like today. I had to go through and find those cards in the deck, pull them out, and retype a card to go in with the error on it, and then run it through the card reader.
Mhm.
But with these guys, if you don't have problems, you don't learn solutions. Although most people, they run into problems, they throw their hands up and run away. I can understand that. You don't know what you're dealing with. If you brought home a cat and thought, oh, it's such a cute cat. And then later on, you found out it was actually a wild cat from Africa and not the kind of cats you're used to. And it was trying to, hiding under your couches and trying to attack you, you would have a different attitude about cats. I've actually had that experience. A pet store had a black cat and they were trying to give it away. Well, yeah. My wife and I at the time found out why they were trying to give it away because it wasn't just feral. It might as well have been from down in Africa with one of those wild cats down there. This cat had no interest in humans, and it literally tried to attack us at every corner. We had to carry blankets around to throw on it in case it tried to attack us. And then eventually we had to follow the vet's directions to get the cat relocated. But just getting it out of the house wasn't easy because it would never come out. You'd put the food at it, but it would growl, big eyes, ears back, go up to the food and, you know, yeah. So, and with these guys, it can seem like that, but it's not, they're not predators. They don't actually want to hurt you. They learn to react to situations. And if it worked before, maybe it'll work again, that kind of thing. It's like the opening of the beak. When they get their beak open and they start walking toward you. If you walk to somebody and you have your mouth open, probably people wouldn't react much to it. But they don't have a mouth; they have a beak, so it's either open or closed or somewhere in between, right? But it doesn't mean they're on the attack. But if you run away from it, then they learn that by opening their beak, they can make you run away.
And that's a good point to make, that what they're trying to tell us versus what we interpret is sometimes worlds apart, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So that video I have, which basically it's just a bunch of pictures of peaches and a couple of other birds in there, sugar, but with closed captions so you can read it, and just the viewpoint of the bird, what it's like to be a bird and be raised in captivity. Talking from that viewpoint, from the point of the bird. I'm not talking so much from that viewpoint, but what I wrote does. And I found what I think is the perfect artificial intelligence voice to read it. I tried to read it. I can't. I get about 2 paragraphs in and I thought, hear that, so I can't talk. But you're able to modify the voice so that it fits the circumstance. You can take my eye out with that. You just want to beat me with a stick. Yeah, I know. All right, Laura. So you can see how upset Lorelai is that I was tossing her on the floor, sitting up here on my chest. So they move from house to house, from person to person. Sometimes they find somebody who really connects with them, like that bird Pinky that was at the Lily Sanctuary. And then he dies and begs his wife to take care of Pinky. And 2 years later, Pinky is just all torn up, kept in a dark room, only fed and watered once a day, that kind of thing. Sometimes it's that bad, sometimes it's just somewhere in between, ignored. Sometimes I feel like Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, because I've got the sane ones with me, and I'm the one that's not quite so sane. Hi. You gonna beat me up with that? Wanna play swords? Wanna play swords? That's what you do?
Yeah, when you have to put a collar on Sugar and put her in the tiny cage, it's like the world is ending.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrific. I hate doing it. I absolutely hate doing it.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like that scene in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest where Billy's not stuttering anymore, and then Nurse Ratched comes in and he starts stuttering again. Just, but in that case, I didn't have a choice. If she were to continue what she was doing, if she started bleeding again, she could die. The nearest avian vet is an hour and a half away. I shouldn't even say avian. The nearest vet that sees birds is an hour and a half away. So I have sutures, but in this case, I don't have anybody to hold her still. Some of these other birds, if I had to suture them, I could do it. But with her, she won't stay still. She needs to do something like that. She needs to anesthetize her, and that's tricky on her body too. She has trouble coming out of the anesthesia, even with just the gas that they use. It stays out far too long. So, and of course, part of the problem is that they don't encourage anyone, especially in the United States, to know anything. We're taught that you can just get by because, well, because we're Americans. Americans can do anything. Sure. I've seen the things Americans have done. I'm looking at one. Hi, what are you doing up in the wake up there? Huh? A little early for you, isn't it, Jazz? Oh, okay, let me switch from there. Yeah, she's looking at KK going, I can't come down a bit, you know. He won't let me. Are you talking, KK? Here's a good example. I don't know where he was before this, but I mean, he was in Vegas at a rescue. Then he went to Alaska, and then his guy up there who didn't know what to do with him actually went against my advice or clipped him, and he said that it was exactly like I said. He became more aggressive when he wasn't clipped. And as I told Michael, I said, well, if you got fight or flight, you take away flight, what are you left with? So once he got his feathers back and his balance back, then he stopped being aggressive, and then he started pulling his feathers. So took me about a month or 2 months to get him to finally put him on Haldol. And he sent me a picture, and there was a pile of feathers that stood about 3 inches tall. That was all from one morning, and that's when he decided to go to the vet and get the Haldol.
But KK is in fine feather now.
He tried chewing on his wings again. I had him almost off of Haldol, but I don't think he'll ever completely be off. And he's on a tiny amount. But whatever they did, I don't know what it was, but whatever they did to him, give him the medicine, he doesn't want to see a syringe. So now I have a stick with a half of a coconut, and then it's got a soft basket inside of it. It's made out of, I think it's palm fronds, and what I have to do is and then he'll attack your hand to try to give him meds. And you can see he's perfectly calm any other time. But so I have to put on a bird glove on that hand, and then I have to gently push him up against the cage, and I have to fight until I can get that syringe just over his tongue. And then once I'm done with that, he's like, oh, okay, whatever. It's just But if I don't have that big glove on, then he'll try to go for my hand. Not because he really wants to bite me, because he knows that will chase the hand away. And he doesn't want to see the syringe. They don't make something, I've looked, where you can take a liquid and inject it. And the problem with that, too, is if he raises up his tongue, it's just going to spray out of his beak. So, yeah, eventually I'll get him to where he'll trust me to do this. But right now I have to play games to get his medicine in him. I know, but you're a good bird, aren't you? He's got just a little bit of chewing on that one feather, but when that started up again, I had to put him back on the medicine. And then, people are always like, isn't love going to solve it? Yeah. Just go to divorce court. You'll learn about love. That doesn't work. In this case, it's a medical issue. And the only thing that's going to work is some kind of intervention. And it isn't just, yes, you are a good boy. And it isn't just medicine. In his case, like with all of them, you have to give them something that they can chew on. This guy he's like a buzzsaw. He goes through a lot of wood every day. He doesn't get the wood, he'll start looking at his feathers. Lorelei. Give him a break, Lorelei. Lorelei.
Hey, Cecil, you can greet Lisa. She just dropped in.
Oh,
Say hi, Lisa.
so hi, Lisa. I hope you'll all watch that video
Parrot.
when I get it up there. I don't know what time today because I've got to rush around. I was hoping to have it so you guys could see it.
We wanted to play a video because that was said to be a new option in Zoom, but nope.
I got to go through 5 miles of switches and see what isn't turned on somewhere because it's on our account. We're supposed to be able to do it.
And Giselle Loves New York also just dropped in and says her bird Caesar bit me out of the blue. I still don't understand why. Sitting outside in my lap, he moved to chair arm. I turned my back and leaned down and he bit through my back off my arm. Ouch.
Well, first thing you have to say is it isn't out of the blue. There is something that triggered that behavior. We have to. I actually wrote a small article called "Out of the Blue," but no, there's always a reason for what they do. So, but you didn't have a camera to catch it, so it's hard to say. But if you repeat that same situation, you'll probably end up with the same results. So.
And Lisa had Rico in, I think, her sleeping room on a perch, and he was starting to talk at 3 a.m., saying hello. Hello, Rico.
Oh, Rico. Rico's awake.
Yeah.
Well,
She wonders why he's talking in the middle of the night.
Was he sleep talking?
If the room's completely dark, that's unusual. They usually don't talk when it's completely dark, but if there's any light at all in the room, then they can see, then they might do that. But who knows? Some birds do different things, even in the dark.
Maybe
They
he
have
could
the
hear
night spray.
you. He could hear you breathing or turning over or something, and wanted to say hi.
Maybe you were talking in your sleep. You never know. Now, recently he bit me, and the reason was Lorelei was getting too close to him, and Lorelei gets into this mode. She's not in it now, but we try to press her away from KK, and she fights. She just pushes with all of her might. So I just scooped her. I took her like this, and I scooped her towards the edge of the couch, and she flew down. Didn't phase her at all, but he was protecting his mate, so he hauled off and just bit me hard. It could have been harder, but it was hard enough to let me know you don't mess with my mate. This is why you don't want birds to mate with each other, but if you've got more than one bird, it can happen. So, I think we're at the hour. So I hope everybody watches that video when I get it up. It will be for members only for the first couple of days, unless you're on Telegram. I have no way to do that on Telegram, so I could probably upload it to Telegram while I'm still in here. Can't do that with YouTube. And Patreon takes forever to upload anything. Have to do that off the main computer. But we do have, don't forget, we have merchandise, got all kinds of great things that Amy has put together. You can see that on our link tree. And you can get a Cecil shirt, Cecil cup. There should be some kind of Cecil bat where you can beat people with it, but I don't think we have that.
What, a Cecil bag? We certainly have a
Bat.
Cecil bag. A
No,
basket.
like a bat, something that you could beat people up with like they use in baseball.
Oh, like a baseball bat.
I don't think I think they have golf balls.
Yeah. A baseball bat would be something that would be perfect with Cecil's face on it, but
Yeah.
Oh, Giselle wants to know where's the video. The video we talked about will be uploaded in the next 24 hours, I guess.
yeah, I'll get it done by tonight. I might be able to get it uploaded to YouTube from my phone. YouTube uploads pretty well. Telegram I can have it on Telegram in probably 10 minutes, but YouTube takes a long time to encode one of the videos I put up there. All right, watch it now. You don't need to do that. My skin does not need to be in there with the piece of wood. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Thank you, Amy and Eleanor, for your moderation, and hope you feel better, Eleanor.
Thank you. And thank you, Don, for the stream and everyone for coming.
And if I could send Cecil to you, he would distract you so you forget all about your cold.
Mm-hmm.
He's good at distractions.
Yes.
So thanks everybody for coming, joining us. The video will be uploaded soon. Then we can discuss next Monday about it. And we hope we have a great rest of the week.
And if you go to Telegram, it just look for Chloe Sanctuary, all one word, you'll find us. So,
I just posted the link tree there. You get when you click on it, you can find the invitation link for Telegram.
Yeah. Okay, guys, say bye, Kate. Say bye, KK. Say bye, KK.
Bye.